नमस्ते बिटिया, खुश रहो बिटिया। Myself JVN Dr. Ritu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Gynaeops, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Today's session is functions of placenta. The functions of placenta. In this session, we will discuss function of placenta, parturition and lactation also. The functions of placenta. The placenta platform performs the following function. First is nutrition. Food material passed from the mother's blood into the fetal blood through the placenta. Second is digestion. The trophoblast or the placenta digest protein before passing them into fetal blood. Respiration. Respiration through the placenta, oxygen passes from the maternal blood to the fetal blood and carbon dioxide passes from the fetal blood to maternal blood. Excretion. The nitrogenous wastes such as urea pass from fetal blood into maternal blood through placenta and are filtered out by the kidneys of the mother. Fifth, storage. The placenta store glycogen, fat, etc. for the fetus before liver is formed. Sixth is barrier. Placenta functions as an efficient barrier defensive wall. The placenta is also called defensive wall and allow useful areas to pass into the social blood. Harmful substances such as nicotine from cigarette smoking and addictive drugs such as heroin can pass through the placenta. Therefore, pregnant women should avoid cigarette and drugs. Virus and bacteria can pass through placenta. Endocrine function. The placenta functions as endocrine gland. It secretes hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, HCG. Now, this is short part of parturition. The gestation period or the baby carrying period is the time from the conception of to birth in human being. It is approximately 280 days. After the complete period of gestation, the child birth take place. It is called parturition. Before childbirth, there is a long series of involuntary contraction of the uterus called labor pains. Umbilical cord is a tube containing blood vessels which connect the abdomen of the developing embryo with the placenta of the mother. Its position in the baby is shown by navel. The disproportionate increase in plasma and RBC volume produces a state of hemodilution during pregnancy. Thus, even though the total hemoglobin mass increases during pregnancy to the extent of 18 to 20%. There is apparent fall in hemoglobin concentration. At term, the fall is about 2 gram percent from the non-pregnant value and hemocritic level. The excess of circulation hemoglobin left behind after delivery yield iron for storage. These steroid hormones stimulate placenta to produce prostaglandins. Hormone oxytocin is secreted from pituitary. These two hormones causes uterus to be powerful muscular contractions, which becomes stronger and stronger over a period of 2 to 18 hours. During the time, the cervix becomes fully dilated and amniotic sac ruptures. The baby is expelled out of the uterus through the birth canal. Soon after, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. Labor pain can be induced but artificially by injection of oxytocin or insertion of prostaglandin into the vagina. When the woman is incapable of taking the labor pain, she can have surgical procedure for childbirth called cesarean. Now lactation. The production and release of milk is called lactation. Prolactin, a hormone of anterior pituitary, stimulate lactation after parturition. High level of estrogen act directly on mammary gland and can block the stimulation by prolactin. The mother produces thick, yellowish, high protein fluid called the colostrum for 2 to 3 days after parturition. Colostrum contain a colostrum contain a great amount of maternal antibodies and helped in staging the baby's immune system. Colostrum also act as a laxative, removing fecal waste and called meconium and retain in the intestine. Now, placental functions. The gas exchange. The gas exchange. The fetal lungs do not take part in gas exchange while in utero. So the placenta is wholly responsible for the transfer of the oxygen and carbon dioxide to form and from the developing fetus. Oxygen is a small molecule which radially crosses the placenta by passive diffusion. Oxygen transfer mainly depends on the oxygen parietal pressure gradient between maternal blood in intravillous space and fetal blood in umbilical arteries. Carbon dioxide also crosses the placenta radially by passive diffusion. Transfer from fetus to mother depends mainly on the parietal pressure gradient for carbon dioxide between fetal blood in the umbilical arteries and maternal blood in the intervillous space. Metabolic transfer. Glucose. The fetus has very little capacity for glucogenesis. Maternal glucose forms its main source of energy. Passive diffusion of glucose across the placenta is insufficient to meet the need of the fetus and therefore facilitated diffusion using a variety of glucose transporter is required. The amino acid for fetal protein synthesis are transferred from mother to fetus by active transport. There are several transport proteins specific for amniotic and anionic, cationic and neutral amino acid. Many of these proteins co-transport amino acid with sodium. The transport of sodium down its concentration gradient drags amino acid into the cells. Fatty acid. Fatty acid are important for synthesis of compound involved in cells, signaling prostaglandins and leukotrienes, and for the production of fetal phospholipids, biochemical membranes, and myelin. Lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme which cleaves lipoprotein into free fatty acid, is located on the maternal surface of the placenta. Free fatty acid and Glycerol are transferred from the mother to fetus, mainly by simple diffusion, but also through the use of free fatty acid binding protein. Electrolytes and vitamin and water. Sodium and chloride ion are mainly transferred across the placenta by passive diffusion, although active transport may have a role. Calcium, iron and vitamin are transformed by active carrier mediate transport. Water moves by simple diffusion according to hydrostatic or osmotic pressure gradients. Certain water channel protein in the trophoblast may aid its passes. Endocrine function. The placenta is an endocrine organ which produces a number of important peptide and steroid hormone. And SCG is a glycoprotein hormone produced in early pregnancy by the syncytotrophoblast. Production of peak 8 week of gestation. SCG stimulate the corpus luteum to secrete progesterone, which is required to maintain viability of pregnancy. Detection of SCG is urine form, the basis of commercial pregnancy testing kits. Human placental lactation. The human placental lactogen is also produced by the syncytotrophoblast. It reduces maternal insulin sensitivity, leading to an increase in the maternal blood glucose levels. It stimulates the production of fetal pulmonary surfactant and the synthesis of adenocorticotropins hormone and help to promote maternal breast development for milk production. HCl convert the mother from being a principal carbohydrate used to a fatty acid user, thereby sparing glucose for the fetus. Hormone growth hormone. Hormone growth hormone variant is produced by the syncytotrophoblast and affect the growth of the placenta itself. It also stimulates maternal glucogenesis and lipolysis, optimizing the availability of nutrient for the developing fetus. Estrogen and progesterone. Until the end of 8 week of gestation, the corpus luteum secretes progesterone. The placenta generally takes over this role and production of progesterone increases until just period before labor. Progesterone is an implantation in prevailing uterine contraction and the one of onset of labor. Estrogen stimulates uterine growth and development of mammary gland. Immunological functions. Although most protein are too large to cross the placenta barrier, maternal IgG antibodies may cross from mother to fetus by pinocytosis. To provide passive immunity in the first few months of life, the syncytotrophoblast possesses receptor for the Fc fragments of IgG. To bound the IgG, then endocytose to vesicle before releasing by exocytosis. Exocytosis into fetal blood. This transfer start in early gestation and increase exponentially in the third trimester. Although antibodies which cause maternal autoimmune disorder, myasthenia gravis, and can also cross the placenta and affect the fetus. Placental drug transfer. Almost all drug will eventually cross the placenta to reach the fetus. In some cases, the transplacental transfer may be beneficial and drug may be deliberately administered to the mother in the order to treatment specific fetal condition. For example, student may be given to some mother to promote fetal lung maturation and cardiac drug may be fetal control fetal arrhythmias. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.